I used to love hiking in the woods near my house. The trails were peaceful, the trees tall and serene. But one day, everything changed. It was a warm summer day, and I decided to take a new path that I had never explored before. It was the perfect hiking path. It would have probably become my favorite path, but that's not the case now. As I walked deeper into the woods, I felt a strange sense of unease. The trees seemed to grow closer together, and the sunlight filtered through the leaves in an eerie way. Suddenly, I heard a rustling sound behind me. I turned around, but no one was there. I shrugged it off and kept walking, but the feelings of being watched lingered. The path grew steeper, and I had to grab onto tree trunks to keep my balance. That's when I saw it, a small, dilapidated cabin at the top of the hill. I should have turned back, but I was curious. I approached the cabin, and that's when I heard it, a faint whispering sound coming from inside. I pushed open the door and stepped inside. The room was dark and musty, with cobwebs hanging from the rafters. And there, in the corner of the room, was a figure, a woman, or something that used to be a woman. Her skin was ashen and her eyes were vacant, but her mouth moved in a continuous whisper. I couldn't make out the words, but the sound was haunting. I backed away slowly, but the woman continued to stare at me with her empty eyes. As I turned to run, I noticed that the door was closed. I don't remember closing it. Could she have closed the door without moving? I didn't want to find out what else she could do, so I ripped the door open and ran until I couldn't breathe. Then I ran a little bit more. I was able to make it back to my house, but I couldn't shake that feeling. The feeling of her eyes staring at me and the faint sound of that whisper. I unfortunately still live in the same area, and now every time I hike in those woods, I catch a glimpse of the woman in the corner of my eye, and when I turn to look, she's gone. Her faint whispering still echoes in my mind, a constant reminder of the terror I faced in that haunted cabin. But I continue to hike those trails, hoping that one day I'll be brave enough to hike my favorite path once again, knowing where it might again lead me.